Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the David McMullen Gymnasium. Today for you we got the Gammon Breakers against our Harvey Lakers. I'm here with Caleb Brewer. Caleb, what's good, buddy?
Nothing much, actually.
Not much, just streaming some good old Harvey volleyball.
Pretty excited for this game here. We got some upgrades to the stream here with a new camera angle.
Oh yeah, we did add a new camera angle, so you guys will have to let us know how you like it. Maybe make some tweaks. We don't know. Still figuring this whole thing out. We got Keynes McMullen up on the first serve. That gets sent right over. Received up over by number 7. Fell short just in front of the net. Good
Ball
receive.
got sent out there on the up at the front.
Good receive by Svensson. Just couldn't quite get it over to the setter. Keynes McMullen once again. Bumped up. Set over by number 13. Keynes will be getting some action. George going up for the hit. Comes up short.
Just a little limp hit there. I don't think she was really expecting to have to hit there.
Defenders were scared seeing George go to the net, but that's an ace there. Number 8 from Gammon side.
That was looking like a senior boys type of play there with that, just letting the ball fall.
Senior boys. They got a really good player, number 9 on there. Gracie Nicholson sends that one over. Volleyed over into the hands of Cadence. Maddie sent that one over to Gracie. Opts for the tip. Tries to send that one over Brianna Doucette, but couldn't quite get it over the white tape. Georgia Bernard now serving. Sent over, set over to Svensson. Georgia receiving that one. Maddie going into the hands of Riley.
Riley DeMerchant just smacking that ball. It hit the top of the net, but had so much power that just rolled off.
Miller may have received that. She was on the right spot, but it hit the top of the tape, falling it short. Nice receive there by Georgia Bernard. Doucette couldn't quite get the right angle. Sent it over to her teammate. Fell short. And once again, another point caused by Georgia Bernard, sending the Harvey Lakers into a 3-2 lead. Ooh, that's a backswing on that serve. Set up to Svensson. Called out by the Harvey Lakers. It was pretty close to that corner, but referee Casey DeMerchant opts to call it out of bounds. Georgia once again, ace.
Georgia Bernard just going on a tear here, targeting that right side of the court.
And a nice serving streak here by the Harvey Lakers, getting that early lead.
Kind of just targeting Svensson here.
Yeah, every serve being in the same spot over again. Svensson having to try and keep the ball alive. Gracie Nicholson tipping that one over. Svensson on the second touch, sent over by number 7, Cook. Fraser Cole putting in the hands of DeMerchant.
The whole team trying to run over to save that, but it still goes out.
Miller receiving, giving the team some borrowed time, but wasn't quite enough. That one set up by Cook, sent over. Maddie Fraser Cole is sending it to Gracie Nicholson. Svensson sending that one over to received by Georgia. Fraser Cole back row hit to Cadence. Lands about 2 feet to the left, ending Georgia's serving streak. But Lakers came out with a pretty sizable lead, now going 8-3.
Receiving is much harder than being on the serving side, so we'll see how they do here.
Cook sent that one over. Fraser Cole. Riley Bunkman. That one's in the back corner. Between 3 defenders there. Not one call for the ball, but instead leaving it to the hands of Cook to try and run over to the middle. Gracie Nicholson now stepping to the line. Just barely makes it over the tape. And a bump from Cook, sending that one out of bounds. Or Miller, rather, not Cook. Nicholson once again. called out by Svensson, moving out of the way just in time, but landing on that red line. That definitely hurts. Hate when that happens. And I fall victim to it a few more times than I should have. Sent up by Miller. That one being served over. Hands of DeMerchant being set up by Fraser Cole. Tip. Miller keeping it alive. Sent over. Canes over to Alyssa Snow. Cross-court hit. Bump back. Canes keeping it alive. Fraser Cole scrambling. Into the hands of Miller. Setting up Svensson. Emma receiving that one. DeMerchant taking a swing back on the other side. Oh my goodness. Alyssa Snow hitting that one over.
Oh, and
landing out of bounds.
Just out of bounds. What an amazing rally there. Both teams
rally.
just flawlessly moving around each other to keep the ball up.
Just landed out of bounds. I thought, maybe thought Canes may have persuaded the refs thinking that landed in, but.
Doucette serving.
Doucette sent that one out of bounds, giving the ball back into the Lakers' hands. Fraser Cole now up behind the line.
Looks like Georgia Bernard has been lived out on the Lakers side for Emma McFadgen.
DeMerchant sending that one up to Alyssa Snow, but jumped a little too early, putting that one behind the red line. Svensson now taking a serve. Straight serve to Canes McMullen. Fraser Cole into the hands of DeMerchant.
Lakers were ready for that. They received and sent back a very powerful hit there.
The breakers were ready. All in the right spot, but it's kind of hard to protect the ball when it hits the top of the tape. Riley DeMerchant now behind the service line. Scores another point for the Lakers.
What a powerful serve she sent there.
Yeah, not only a threat in front of the tackle line, but behind it as well. Just over the tape.
She's just sending bullets flying their way.
Yeah, bullets ricocheting off the arms of Cook into the Breakers bench. Svensson receiving that one. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Some technical difficulties. Trying to get it all figured out.
Having an issue with our scoreboard at the moment, but
yeah, score is now 16-6. That hasn't updated on your guys' end yet.
I believe that might have just been a Mr. White boomer moment, messing up the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Looking like a grandpa over there, but he's...
No, that missed serve from Miller. The Lakers now going up 17-6. 11-point lead. Alyssa Snow now behind the service line. Sending that one over to the side of Cook, calling it out. That's three serves back-to-back now that haven't landed inside the court. Got Budgel stepping behind the line. Served by DeMerchant. Caden scrambling for it. Can't quite get it up for her teammates.
The Breakers looking to make a couple more points here.
Yeah, gonna have to make up quick, but 17-8. Lakers only 8 points away from first set.
Breakers are going to need a big comeback here.
Exactly.
Going to have to use all the momentum. Don't know what quite happened there. Looks like Miller and Libby both kind of ran over each other for the ball and couldn't quite get it up and caught each other's way.
High bump by the Breakers. Just sent barely over to Lakers side. Maddie Fraser Cole with the one-hand bump. Up by Miller. Set by Cook into the hands of Alyssa Snow. Fraser Cole once again setting up Georgia Bernard. Kept alive. Canes McMullen back over to Gracie Nicholson. Off the top of the tape. Kept alive. Sent to the Lakers side. Fraser Cole. Canes McMullen sending that one over. Tip by the Breakers. Georgia Bernard setting up Canes McMullen. Svensson keeping that one up. Cook sending it over. Alyssa Snow to Maddie Fraser Cole to Georgia. Miller trying to keep it alive. Svensson. No breakers nearby.
Miller just keeping that ball up for her team, getting pelted over and over again. That's what we like to see there.
Yeah, she's not afraid to move around the court, keep that ball up for her teammates.
She's very clearly has a lot of experience on the court. Not afraid of that ball, not afraid to get down and save it.
There's Maddie Fraser-Cole with a hit over. Lands just in front of number 4 on the Breakers side, Budgel. Lakers now hit the 20-point threshold, only 5 points away from the first set. Miller kept that one up, set over. McMillan, perfect pass to Fraser-Cole. Nicholson taking a swing. Lands outside the court, point will go to the Breakers. It was a good swing though. Received by Georgia Bernard. Maddie Fraser-Cole setting up Nicholson, opts for the tip. Svensson keeping it alive, knocking it over to the other side. Fraser-Cole setting up Bernard. Svensson, one-hand bump, sending it back over. Received by McMullen. Nicholson with the swing. Kept up by Cook. McMullen trying to keep it alive. Bernard with the hit. And it's just in front of Budgel on the Breakers' end.
Not a very block-heavy game here. The Lakers are just backing up to the attack line every time and waiting to get that big setup for a juicy hit.
Yeah, the Lakers for sure love their hits. Oh. We'll just ignore that.
Just pretend that didn't happen.
Scores
Georgia so embarrassed she had to get libbed out for Emma
got
McFadden.
subbed out. Can't be having that happen. Served over by Cook. Ball landing out of bounds. Lakers will get the point. 3 points away. Sorry about that. 3 points away from the first. Gracie Nicholson with the ace. Landing in between 5 Breakers players. Not one decided to step in. Once again, same problem. Oh, she doesn't even have glasses on. Okay, things are making sense.
She couldn't see the ball. That was.
All right, things are gonna change now. Breakers are on the comeback season.
The Gracie Nicholson sends it right there again. She's got it this time.
Yeah, she can see now. We're good. Budgel can see. All right, Miller bumping that one back. Attempted to set over.
Rolled off Libby's fingers there.
Yeah, Libby went to set it over, but just rolled backwards on her.
And that will be the 25th point for the Lakers. Lakers winning that set by 15-point margin.
Yeah, 15-point margin.
That's definitely going to take a hit to the Breakers' morale.
Yeah, Breakers have, I think, 8 players with them today. Lakers have a little bit more than that. So it'll be interesting to see maybe some substitutions. I mean, next set could be different too. Budgel's got her glasses on. She can see the ball, receive the ball. Who knows?
Maybe they took her glasses off to like give the Lakers
maybe they just want to make things interesting.
Yeah.
So they just took her glasses off for the first set, and then 1 point away from the Lakers' victory on the first set, they decided to give them back.
We'll see the adaptation coming out. Seems like the Lakers are just getting a lot of free hits, so we'll see if the Breakers adapt and attempt to maybe set up a couple more blocks or.
Yeah, may have to send more blocks, but yet again, Georgia Bernard has been opting for tips. Many of the Lakers players have. Breakers defense just haven't quite expected them quite yet. Seeing very tall players, Georgia Bernard and Alyssa Snow, being up at that net, you can't just expect like a hit from players like them, but with diversity and.
They could pretty much just like reach their hands over the net and drop the ball on your head. It's really hard to tell what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's hard to expect, but we'll see. Maybe the Breakers will change some things up. Despite the point margin, though, the Breakers didn't quite let the ball drop. There were long rallies between the two teams.
The Breakers mostly on defense, I noticed, though. Not setting up many attacks for themselves.
Yeah, you are right. I mean, Breakers spending the majority of that set on the receiving side of the serve, so in the first bump was a little bit out of control, couldn't quite get it to a perfect pass to their setter. But when they did, they would attempt to attack, but Lakers' attacks just wasn't easy for them to receive to attack back.
The Lakers coming back out on the court now. Seems like about the same lineup, minus Gracie Nicholson for Holly Henry.
Yeah, they have Lily Sweezian and Holly Henry in for Gracie Nicholson and Alyssa Snow, it looks like.
Oh, I didn't see Lily over there. Breakers looking like they're running the same lineup. Well, looks like there might have been one switch.
And Bajo with the serve over, received by DeMerchant.
Looks like they swapped out number 2 Molly Miller for Cassidy Griffin, number 1 down there.
That serve falling short. Tie scored 1-1. Keynes McMullen now stepping behind the line. Allen sent over. Received by number 1 on the breakers, Griffin. Blocked by Georgia.
Big block there by Georgia. Those are the blocks that we're talking about.
Yeah. Although she didn't block it, it landed on their side, just not within the red line. So point will be given to the breakers. That serve being received by McMullen. Lily Sweezy taking a swing.
Ball will just go out there, and number 1 will just watch it.
Just a little bit too much mustard on that one.
A little bit too much sauce.
Well, yeah, exactly. Holly Henry receiving that one. Fraser Cole over to Sweezy. Sent over by Cook between 4 Lakers players.
Good mix-up there by Cook, just sending it. That's a good mix-up for setters, just to send it over on the second hit.
It was a very good play. The Lakers
it's a good way to
weren't
get.
Expecting it, and the blockers were not.
Good way to get some cheap points off, just to mix them up, keep them on their toes.
Exactly. Lakers players now trailing by 2, 2-4.
Georgia Bernard serving that one over, but the breakers just could not figure out who was going to get that one.
Bernard once again received by Griffin. Svensson expecting receiver Cook to get that second touch, but didn't quite hear call help in time. Ball will fall. Lakers gained the point. Georgia Bernard now tied the game up at 4. Called out by the breakers, but landed a good 5 feet within the lines.
Seems like there's some adaptation on the breakers side there. Closing in that gap that Georgia just sniped.
Georgia once again.
Bernard is back on her hot streak, sending serve after serve over.
Yeah, Lakers now was down by 2, but now they're up by 2 with their own lead. A little backspin on that serve. Cook sends it over. Received by McMullen. Fraser Cole up to DeMerchant. Once again, touches top of the tape. Svensson having to adapt. Can't quite get there quick enough. Georgia Bernard kept alive by Svensson. Griffin wasn't quite expecting it. Trying to volley the serve with Georgia Bernard. But
Timeout called by the breakers, looking to revise their strategies. Because what they're doing right now was working at the start, but it seems like the Lakers have kind of figured it out. And
the serving streak of Georgia Bernard took this game from 2-4 all the way up to 8-4. So you have to change something up. Georgia finding multiple holes in the breakers' defense.
they're going to switch up their receiving strategy more than anything.
Yeah.
Either more area coverage or maybe better calls. The Lakers are just going to keep doing what they're doing.
Georgia Bernard still behind that service line.
She's looking to make her streak even bigger than it was already.
Looking to continue the streak. Received by Griffin. Up by Cook. Svensson taking a swing. Received by Georgia. Fraser Cole setting up DeMerchant with the tip over to Svensson.
Bit of hesitation there from Griffin. Was expecting number 4 Budgel to get that, I believe.
Yeah, Svensson kept it alive, but no teammates nearby. We'll match a ping pong there between.
Breakers got all 3 of their hits, but unfortunately none of them were bangers. They were all just
above 2 feet from the floor. So.
They were all just kind of soft.
Kept alive by Cook, tapped over into the hands of McMullen. Only Sweezy taking a swing. Not landing out of bounds. Emma McFadden living in for Georgia. Cook serving into the arms of McFadden. Set by Fraser Cole. Riley DeMerchant taking a swing.
I think DeMerchant thought she was a lot closer to the net than she actually was, just sending it down straight into the net.
Either that or she thought she was a lot higher than she was. But falls victim to the mesh.
Huge serve by Cook.
That's the exact momentum that the Breakers need right now. Some serving streaks.
Straight bullet into cadence. She could not get that up.
Cook once again, a high serve.
Just barely went out.
Just lands out of bounds. Lakers now leading this game 11-7.
Breakers made a small comeback in points. They just need to get service back on their side and keep the momentum up.
Really Suzy serving that one over. Svensson trying to keep it alive. Didn't get it over on their 3rd hits, but
just couldn't quite send it over. Oh, looks like some miscommunication there.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunication between Svensson and
Budgel.
Now Breakers are making a decision, subbing out Svensson for number 8, Braylon Libby. So she'll take her spot and see if this will keep them in the game. That's served over to Cook. Kept alive by Griffin. DeMerchant picking that one up. Set over by DeMerchant, a little close to the net, off the tip. Libby hits that one over, received by Sweezy. Holly Henry taking a swing.
Powerful swing, but didn't make it over the net.
Very powerful swing, yeah, but gets clipped by the net and didn't roll over, so point will go to the Breakers. Trailing by 5. Received by Holly Henry. DeMerchant tipping that one over.
Just tipping that one straight onto Libby's head there.
Yeah, Libby in the right spot, but couldn't keep it up for her team.
She was not expecting that.
No, exactly. Fraser Cole with a powerful serve over to Cook. Reflects off the net,
Libby going for a type of like magic trick, rolling the ball across her shoulders.
Cole receiving the ball right over back to Fraser Cole. DeMerchant tipping that one over. Griffin sending that one over to Libby. Fraser Cole sending over to Holly Henry with the tip. Back over to the Lakers side. Fraser Cole to the back set to McMullen. Maybe following McMullen.
Fraser Cole definitely shining through the rest of the Lakers here. She's just sending over some really fast serves and setting up like crazy. Their team just has perfect communication here. And a beautiful hit by DeMerchant to close that point off.
Another substitution being made by the Breakers. Miller being subbed in for Griffin.
Number 1 Cassidy Griffin being subbed out for number 2 Molly Miller, which I believe was what they subbed out at the start of this set,
Yeah,
what they changed up with their lineup.
Miller did take a seat for the first 26 points of the set, but she'll make a return. Maddie Fraser Cole serving that one over. Doesn't quite get it over. trailing by 9, 18 to 9. Sent over by Libby. Received by McMullen, but on the other side.
It's like none of the breakers were ready for that. Which the Lakers have been really good about getting the ball on, keeping it on their side, and setting up attacks.
Nice serve by DeMerchant. Kept alive by Cook. Libby almost sent it within play, but rolled off her arms.
Another good serve by DeMerchant. Just bouncing off Doucette's arms there.
Sent into our stands. Cook kept that one alive. Up by Miller, sent over. Maddie Fraser-Cole sending over to Henry. Miller keeping it alive. Mullen will receive that one. Fraser-Cole over to Bernard.
Looks like they don't even have communication. Fraser-Cole just sets it, and the rest of the Lakers know who's hitting.
They play off one another's chemistry. Miller will serve that one over to Sweezy. Fraser-Cole sent over to Case McMullen.
Good tip by McMullen.
Yeah, great tip. Notice no defenders behind Cook, but only blocker, and the rest of the breakers not quite ready for it. Short serve by Holly Henry.
Good spot there. None of the breakers were in that general area. Had to have number 5, Robinson.
Take a few steps forward. Knocking it back on the side of the Lakers, but landing outside the red lines. Cook setting that one over to Budgel. Fraser-Cole over to McMullen. Cross-court hit. Kept alive. Budgel setting over to Cook. Sent to the Lakers side. Fraser-Cole over to Sweezy.
Sweezy trying for that hit, but just didn't get high enough for it. Service will now go over to the breakers side. They're going to have to use this to...
Budgel will serve, landing just a few inches outside the lines.
It was close, but
Lakers
they cannot...
match point.
Breakers cannot drop another point here.
Miller keeping that one up. Sent out of bounds by the Breakers' number 5, Robinson. So Lakers will pick up their second set, one away from match victory. This time only a 14-point deficit.
1 point closer than the deficit they were at last set.
About 14 more sets, and we'll have a tie game. Well, not a tie game, but
Just wait, a couple of years from now, the Breakers are going to be consistently beating the Lakers by so many points.
exactly.
If they keep this pace up.
If they keep this pace up, if they play twice a year, so 7 years.
About 7 years is going to be, it's going to be really good for the Breakers.
Yeah, well, if you're a Lakers coach, there's not much else you can say. I mean, they're winning the sets by a pretty big deficit. No major flaws, no holes in their defense. I'd say the only problem they have is getting the ball over the net. The net is the best defense against the Lakers, it seems.
And if you're the Breakers coach, you've probably got just a couple things to say.
Yeah, I mean, serve receive
is very difficult because the Lakers have very strong servers.
Yeah, Lakers do have many good servers on their team. Breakers keeping the ball alive, just not sending it over to the right players. Sending over to number 7, Cook. She's having to scramble quite a bit. Still attempting to set up her hitters, but
Lakers are very hard serves, except for Holly Henry. When she steps up, it's a bit of a mix-up. Just a light, right close to the net serve, which none of the Breakers are expecting because their formation is set to be way further back to catch those really hard ones.
yeah, Holly Henry falling behind hitters like Maddie Fraser-Cole and Riley DeMerchant, Georgia Bernard. They'd see Holly Henry, so they're all 5 feet back, but they're all 5 5 feet back, but Holly Henry's short serve lands just about 1 foot in front of the net. Catches him off guard.
See how the Breakers adapt their game plan this time. Maybe we'll see some different lineups coming out.
All right, we return, third set.
Both teams coming back out for another set here. I think they're going to play to 5 anyway. Most games do go to 5.
Yeah, most league games anyway, when you're only playing the one team, despite if one team wins in the first 3 sets, they'll usually play all the way to 5, unless
especially
they're
if you're from Gammon and taking
I mean,
the ferry over here.
taking a boat ride and then driving the rest of the way over here. Taking a boat ride and driving all the way over here. It's kind of be pointless to only play about 40 minutes of volleyball. But Georgia Bernard with the hit, kept alive by Miller. Libby sending that one up to the hands of Miller, received by Case McMillan. Gracie Nicholson with the cross-court hit. Kept alive, Cook sending it over once again, hands of McMullen. Georgia Bernard with the hit.
Miller going for the dive there to try and save it, but
Miller,
unfortunately just rolled off her arms.
and Miller almost keeping it alive, but difficult to receive. Difficult to receive spikes like that when it's just behind the attack line. Kings McMullen's barely getting that one over. Gracie Nicholson.
Falling on the floor there.
Yeah, diving to keep the ball alive.
Looks like she
Seems
might
a little
knock the
hurt.
wind out of herself.
Yep.
She's really putting it all out on the line for this.
Oh.
Had some collision there with DeMerchant.
Yeah, a little miscommunication. I mean, DeMerchant on the power side, but the set did look like it was going over to Nicholson. Saw a little miscommunication.
Bernard going up to serve now.
Yep. Tied 2-2, so we'll see what the score is whenever she stops. Received by Miller. Svensson keeping it alive. Bernard scoring 1 point for Lakers.
That's 1 point for Bernard's reign. She
Yeah.
might come back.
I'm sure it will return. Kept alive by Libby. Coach trying to set it over.
Cook couldn't quite get it over the net there.
Yeah, it was blocked by the net, but if it wasn't going to be the net, then I'm sure it would have been Riley DeMerchant. Bernard with the ace.
Another strong serve there. Svensson thought it was out, but was right on line again.
Either thought it was out or left it to her teammate, Miller, in the back row. Bernard once again kept alive, tipped by Cook. Lands out of bounds. Lakers now up 4 points.
Lakers are really using the momentum of the serves here,
Yeah, another point.
which is very, very powerful. If you're on the receiving end and can't quite get the serves up, it takes a toll on really the whole team's mental.
That's for sure. I mean, especially when it's the same player. I mean, Georgia Bernard has just been creating these gaps between the players whenever she gets behind the service line. A set up to Riley DeMerchant.
She's just targeting the same person over and over again. Which, if you're the person on the receiving end of that, it feels really bad. If you miss a couple
It
of
wouldn't
them.
feel great. Tipped over by Cook. Kept alive by McMullen. Sent over to Gracie Nicholson with the tip. Cook bumping that one over, received by Snow. Fraser Cole over to Riley DeMerchant. Miller keeping that one alive.
Hits the floor there. Griffin couldn't quite get there in time.
Yeah, either Griffin and Miller, or not Miller, Griffin and Cook had a little bit of miscommunication there. Both going for the ball.
We can see some adaptation from the Breakers side, though. Miller and Griffin kind of doubling up or coming a bit closer just to fill in that little gap of confusion.
Yeah, I mean, being tied and then having nothing but a serving streak, create a 8-point lead would have to cause some adaptation, you'd think.
The Breakers finally get out of that
Georgia
little
Bernard.
section of Georgia Bernard serving.
Georgia Bernard serving.
Cook up to serve now.
Received in the hands of Snow. Bumped. It was set over by Fraser Cole. Kept alive by Miller.
Svensson going for a little dive there to try and save it, but doesn't quite get there.
Gracie Nicholson now taking her serve behind the red line. And received up by Miller. Almost kept alive.
Set up by Miller, but a bit of confusion on who would follow up.
Doucette and I think Libby both went for it. Almost got it over, but couldn't quite. Doucette receiving that one to the hand of Miller. Attempt to volley over, but fell victim to the net.
Looks like since Cook is in the back row now, Miller's stepping up to set.
Doucette set that one over to the Lakers side. Back over from McMullen. Cook trying to keep it alive. And McMullen.
Beautiful recovery by the Breakers, but their whole team was back trying to save it. They weren't ready for the immediate tip over.
Yeah, they were all still at the very back of the court. So when McMullen accidentally set it over, it was an easy point for the Lakers. That one's picked up from Emma McFadgen. Riley DeMerchant hitting that one. Kept up by Libby. Doucette setting that one over. Snow over to Fraser Cole. Back to Snow. Cross-court hit. Back onto the side of the Lakers. Snow once again.
Snow just targeting Griffin with those. Just cross-court straight at her.
Yeah, I mean, that Lakers love to hit cross-court, and that back right corner is not the place you want to be right now.
They really like targeting Griffin.
Either Griffin or she's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Nicholson picking up an ace for her team. Lakers with a 13-point deficit, 16-3. Nicholson serving into the hands of Cook. Back to the Lakers side. Fraser Cole to Snow. Cook once again back to the Lakers side. Fraser Cole to Riley DeMerchant. Kept alive by Griffin.
Almost sent straight back over by Griffin, too.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the same series of events, just ping-ponging back behind the teams.
Lakers were just eating that up, just setting up some attacks and getting some good hits.
Yeah, I can't complain when you just get an attack all game and don't play defense. But Riley DeMerchant with another hit, kept alive by Libby. Cook trying to send it back into play, but just knocked it to the other side of the court.
Fortunately, no one was there.
Yeah, nobody was there. Everyone followed her. So when she hit it all the way over there, no one was there. Grayson Nicholson received by the hands of Griffin, sent over by Doucette. Fraser Cole setting back to McMullen. Cook kept it alive, set up by Miller. Doucette bumping that one back. Snow to Fraser Cole, back to Snow, tip.
Looks like Snow might have touched the net when she went for that tip. It was a good spot, though.
Yeah, it was a good spot.
Doucette's up to serve now.
That one falling victim to the net, just falling short.
Unfortunately hit the net.
Yeah, Lakers only 6 points away from taking victory of not only the set but the match. Fraser Cole's serve will fall out of bounds. Only a 14-point deficit now between the Lakers and the Breakers and the Lakers.
Breakers are really going to use this opportunity.
McMullen kept it alive.
Number 14, Svensson serving.
Svensson with a powerful serve. McMullen. Some adjustments being made by the Lakers. Svensson with the serve again. Received by McFadgen. DeMerchant hitting that one over. Back to the hands of Svensson. Miller. Over to Libby. Snow taking a swing at that one.
Went over the hands of Snow, and Nicholson couldn't get there in time. Unfortunate for the Lakers, but for the Breakers, they might be on a hot streak here, using this momentum.
Went from 4 to 8, I believe. That's Fraser Cole to Riley DeMerchant. That one lands out of bounds.
Very consistent serves being shown here by Svensson. And there's the commentator curse.
Nice, Caleb.
Well, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yep, way to go. DeMerchant now behind the line. Powerful serve to the hands of Doucette. Miller kept it away from the net, sent over by Griffin. DeMerchant to Fraser Cole to McMullen. Miller tips it over. Fraser Cole over to Snow. Can't quite connect with the ball.
Service goes back to the Breakers side.
Lakers 5 points away. Miller taking the serve, lands in. Georgia sending it back over. Kept alive. McMullen sending that one over to the hands of Svensson. Cook over to Libby. McMullen.
Breakers switched up the dynamic here. Lakers were on constant defense, just trying to survive and get the ball back over.
No, exactly. Bernard picking that one up. McMullen back to Bernard. Cook setting up Libby.
Couldn't quite get that one over.
Four points away. Alyssa Snow behind the line. Sent over by Miller. Up by Cook. Sent over by Griffin. Alyssa Snow picking that one up. Bernard having to hit it over into the hands of Svensson. Cook setting it up for Libby once again. Bumped over. And Mullen sending that over. Svensson. Cook once again. Alyssa Snow to McMullen.
Breakers are in hot pursuit of the Lakers right now. They're trying to come after that point difference, and they're making up quite a bit of points here.
They are. I mean, they were at 4 before the start of this run, and now they're all the way up to 12. Lakers at 21.
Lakers made, like, what, about 4 points within the time they made 8?
Yeah, I mean, Lakers had a deficit as much as 14, I'd want to say, and now it's only cut to 8.
They keep this pace up, they could very possibly win this set here.
Griffin in the hands of Nicholson. McMullen back over back over by Nicholson. Libby knocking that one back. Nicholson to Fraser Cole to Bernard. Just over in the net. Kept alive. Cook sent that one over. McMullen with the dive. Fraser Cole over to Bernard.
Looks like the Breakers' hot streak are kind of getting to the Lakers team down there. They're not really sending up a whole lot of attacks anymore.
Yeah, Breakers have a lot of hustle.
Either the Lakers are getting in their own heads or the momentum's just too great to ignore.
Took a step back, became too relaxed. A beautiful dig there by Doucette.
No Laker there to receive that one, but switching up their lineup a little bit.
Yes, these
changing formation.
These plays that the Breakers are still in the game, and they think it too. And Nicholson with a big hit, kept alive, set up by Georgia. Oh. Georgia Bernard set over to Fraser Cole, back to Bernard with a swing. Uncovered area from the Breakers.
Good spot there by Bernard.
Lakers
Sent straight to the floor.
not only bringing the Lakers that much closer, 3 points. Cook over to Doucette. McMullen kept it alive. Frazier Cole back to McMullen. Set in the hands of Doucette from Cook back to Doucette with the swing. Lands in the back row hands of DeMerchant. Nicholson tipping that one over. Libby trying to keep it alive. Georgia Bernard back to Frazier Cole. Back to Georgia Bernard.
Georgia Bernard just sending a little bit to Frazier Cole so she could get that big swing.
Ball over to Griffin. Doucette knocking that one over. DeMerchant picking that one up. Over to Bernard. Doucette keeping it alive. Miller with the dive.
Bernard is on fire this game.
1 point stands between Lakers victory. Jump serve by McMullen. Received by Miller. Lands on the Lakers side. A little too close to comfort for Nicholson.
Breakers now have served, but they cannot let the Lakers get a single other point, otherwise they lose the set and the game.
Underhand serve from Libby. Frazier Cole is setting up Gracie Nicholson.
Nicholson not getting high enough to hit that, but still trying anyway.
It can't quite, hasn't connected with the ball, but we have seen she's got a powerful hit. Frazier Cole back to Nicholson.
Nicholson trying to adapt, but
Lakers only 1 point away, but Breakers are creeping up on them, 6 points. Nicholson over to Libby, kept alive by Cook. Svensson keeping that one up. Bernard to Frazier Cole to Bernard, kept alive. That one sent over by Griffin. Once again, Bernard taking a swing. Received by Libby.
good spot by Libby there.
Bullet pass to the corner.
Breakers are on a big comeback streak. They
5 points.
only 5 points behind the Lakers now. That's big.
Comeback season for the Breakers. Frazier Cole sending Bernard once again. Kept alive by Doucette. Set over by Miller. Big hit by Georgia Bernard. Little bit of miscommunication.
Just let that ball fall to the ground, but that's a win for the Lakers.
Yeah, win for the Lakers, but big improvement from the Breakers end. I mean, down by 14, bringing it all the way up to 6.
So they're going to play 1 or 2 more sets here.
Yeah, one full set to 25, and then they'll most likely play a 5th one to 15. This is the time that you'd see some role players on both sides come out, get some playing time, become some key pieces for the team's future.
Breakers looking a lot more lively over at the bench this time. Probably real happy with that.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
14-point comeback going on. That was crazy.
Yeah, despite the loss, you got to be happy with how much you made up. Going down by 14 and then crawling all the way back out of that hole you made yourself, back to 6 points, putting some pressure on the Lakers.
It's impressive for any team, and the Lakers, they know that. They started fumbling a couple of balls there.
Yeah, Lakers became a little bit too relaxed, gave the Breakers a chance to crawl back into the game. Couldn't quite get her done though. Would have been a comeback story for the books, but
they could not quite nail it.
Happen.
Fortunately, the Lakers do want to win.
Yeah.
Since it is a league game.
Unfortunately, but they did have to put an end to it.
Pretty much just sent in Bernard and told her to.
Yeah, Bernard getting about 5 sets back to back to back.
Yeah. Like, all right, this game's over. Set to me.
Yeah.
Just.
She had enough.
Yeah. We'll see. Now that the league games out of the way, since it's just for fun, we see a lot of different lineups coming in to give a lot of experience to players and different like synergies to build up.
Exactly, like these upcoming sets anyway are just gonna all be about experience for either young players or
new players.
Yeah.
Any type of experience really, like synergies between players. Which it might not seem like it makes a big difference who you're playing with, but it definitely does.
Yeah.
Just because of how different mindsets are.
Yeah, different mindsets, and also confidence has to be built up. If you don't have confidence in what you're doing, then it can lead to some major lapses in your defense and also your offense. Breakers sitting Libby and Svensson, so we are seeing some changes on their end.
Looks like the Lakers are coming back with about the same lineup that they had.
Yeah, Lakers having three players on their bench, including a lib.
Same lineup as the second set.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Just looks like they're switching out a couple of power players.
Yes, same as the second set. Switched out Snow and Nicholson for Holly Henry and Lily Sweezy. But McMullen also setting that one to Jordy Bernard. Kept alive. That one knocked over by Doucette. Bernard back to Fraser Cole. Back to Bernard. Kept alive. Cook setting it over. That one hit by Lily Sweezy. Powerful swing. Doesn't land within the red lines.
Sweezy's hitting it with a lot of power, and it's going over the net, but unfortunately it's not at a downward angle enough to just hit the floor.
That one may have been out of bounds. Lily Sweezy opposite keep it in. Attempts the tip, but called out of bounds.
Tip's
by the Breakers,
gonna go
number
out
5,
too.
Robertson.
Sweezy's having a bit of a rough go.
Yeah, having a little trouble keeping the ball within the red lines, but we all have our days. Breakers having some own chirping on their own bench. Budgel missing that one. McMullen serving that one over into the hands of Griffin. Set up by Cook. Punched over by Doucette. Lakers getting all 3 touches on that ball, but no one could receive it.
Can't quite send it over.
Yeah, I think it hit the hands of Bernard and then McMullen and then DeMerchant. McMullen receiving that one. Sweezy taking the tip. Bernard with the rejection.
Robinson with that backline serve that she sent straight to McMullen. Looked like Henry and McMullen were gonna clash, but they figured it out.
Bernard with the usual serving streak. I'm assuming is about to take place once again. Score was 2-3, so we'll see what it was when she's.
See how she does this time.
Yeah, we'll see how she does this time. She stays pretty consistent, I'd say.
Biggest streak is, I think, 8 points.
Yeah, I mean, either 8 or a little bit more. I haven't really been counting. I get bored. She's back there for so long.
She's definitely got the most points just from serve.
Definitely a deadly server. Into the hands of Robinson. Sent out of bounds.
Ball's got so much speed that it hits your hand and rolls, or just if it hits any wrong angle, it sends it out flying.
Yeah, it doesn't leave much time to think on who's going to receive the ball if it lands between you and your teammate. But Griffin keeping that one alive. Fraser Cole, DeMerchant, sending that one over. Cook setting that one over. Back to Griffin.
Griffin couldn't quite get over the net there.
Almost kept it alive, yeah, but didn't quite have the right angle.
Bernard's going to continue serving.
Received by Robinson, up to by Cook. Griffin taking a swing.
Looks like Griffin wasn't quite in the right position for that.
Wasn't in the right position, messed up the footwork. The usual.
Or hesitate a little bit.
Yeah. Bernard with another serve. Fraser Cole keeping it alive.
The immediate set over by Cook is she's still using it as a big mix-up.
That serving streak was only 5. That's pretty good.
Looks like the Breakers are kind of adapting to, you know.
Maybe adapting, yeah, I'd say. Some improvements are being made. Fraser Cole keeping that one in. Lily Sweezy. That one being set over by Doucette. McMullen getting that one. DeMerchant. I don't know, I thought that was going to be a line drive to one of the corners. She does love to hit cross court, but
Breakers are still putting up a good fight,
had some
though.
remorse. Really Sweezy. Almost touched
And
the
good
hands of
reaction
Doucette.
by Doucette.
Yeah.
Keep in mind where the line was and going for it, but then knowing it was out and just leaving it.
Exactly. Score now 8-5. Lakers
Now
lead
Doucette's
by
up to
3.
serve.
Served over by Doucette. DeMerchant, Fraser Cole back to DeMerchant. Kept alive by Griffin.
Looks like the Breakers could really use some frontline defense in the form of blockers or tip coverage, that type of thing.
Yeah, the hustle alone between Griffin and Miller almost kept that ball alive, but fell short.
They're doing well to move around the court efficiently and in sync with each other, but they just can't defend such powerful hits.
Griffin sending that one to the hands of McMullen, shanking into the hands of Sweezy, getting it over. Budgel takes a swing, falls victim to the net.
Net is a big enemy in this
Net is the
game.
best defender in volleyball, I'd say. I mean, kind of stops you from doing anything. But Budgel trying to hit that one on the third hit.
Wasn't quite inside the poles.
Yeah, it wasn't between the antennas and also land out of bounds, so a few things wrong with that. DeMerchant barely getting that one over the net. Line drive back to the Lakers side. Fraser Cole setting up Bernard with the hit. I mean, I think I can speak with everyone when I can say, like, that was not as powerful as we thought it was going to be.
Breakers were really fighting for their life
They were
over
all
there.
sitting back waiting for it to be a line drive to them, but just barely got it over the net. Holly Henry with the swing, kept alive by Cook. Into the
Good hit
rafters.
by Holly Henry there. She adapted from her first hit and came through with a big swing.
Georgia wasn't going to bring the power, she was going to. DeMerchant serving that into the hands of Cook, shanked towards the Breakers bench. Fortunately, the players on the Breakers bench can't receive that ball. DeMerchant to Cook, to the hands of Miller, set over to the other side. Fraser Cole to McMullen, sent back. 2-touch volleyball we got in our hands. McMullen to Fraser Cole to Holly Henry with the bump. Miller over, kept alive by Fraser Cole, my apologies. Probably DeMerchant. Would have been good if she wasn't in that exact spot under the basketball net.
It's also going to end DeMerchant's hot streak that she also tends to go on.
Yeah, exactly. Serve received by Lily Sweezy. McMullen get a tip over. That's the second one we've seen from her where no one was even close to receiving.
Looks like Cook is a bit of a blocker, but it just went over her hands.
Holly Henry once again. You'd think they'd learn.
This is the lineup change here.
This is the change.
Goes from 2 very hard hitters to Henry, who just sends it right to the net.
Block attempt from Georgia. Gets a hand on it. Stays on Lakers' side.
Aw, mess up the timing of the receivers there by hitting the net.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when that happens.
If you can consistently do it, it's good, but it's very hard to have
I
it
mean,
consistent.
It's unpredictable. That's why it falls. The ball falls so often when it does hit the net. Cook knocking that one over to Budgel. Fraser Cole punching that one over. Cook to the hands of Budgel. A little too much mustard. It was almost a home run.
Looks like the Breakers are kind of adapting to Holly Henry's serving style.
Yeah, they're
Going
all,
right up to
they're
the
all
net.
pretty close to the net, I'd say. Budgel once again.
Which, I mean, that's just it. Once they figure out the serving style and they after a point or two, they adapt to it, and
Yeah.
it's a lot less effective. Whereas DeMerchant and Bernards are still strong.
Serve of Budgel falls short. Harvey Lakers 19-18. Served over by McMullen. Cook setting that one over. Point scored by the hands of Doucette.
Good hit by the Breakers.
Very good hit. Line drive.
Now service is back on their side, and they can make a
Budgel,
looking to make a big
powerful
play.
underhand serve. No communication from the Lakers.
It looks like Tracy Messer, their coach, is yelling some advice out to the players.
Oh, okay. Cook setting that one up. Doucette trying to keep it over. Or get it over, rather.
And her advice just works. she's kind of scary. You don't wanna ignore her. And this is bad news for the Breakers. Bernard's back up to serve.
Bernard is back up to serve. About to ice the game, 21-10. That's her first point. Let's see if she can get 5. The lowest serving streak she's had is 5, so Breakers are asking for a prayer here.
They're gonna need some divine intervention to come in here,
Yeah.
or a commentator curse. George is very consistent with
Georgia
this.
has a very good
She's
serve.
very consistent
Very
and
great
good.
serve.
Doesn't
She's
quite
immune.
work.
It doesn't work. Holy. Big swing there by Griffin.
Well, you never know. Lightning could still come through, and
I mean, Georgia's serve is just so powerful. Yeah, it doesn't work. Comte's curse, she's immune to it. Cook knocking that one over. Holly Henry receiving that one. Brazier Cole over a Sweezy. Well-placed hit. DeMerchant back to Frazier Cole to DeMerchant, kept alive by Cook. McMullen. Frazier. It's a Sweezy.
looked like it was going out, but Robinson didn't think so.
Tough judgment call.
Well, you know what they say, third time's the charm, so like Georgia's got very consistent serve. Bernard is going up
2 points away.
for a big serve.
It's in the hands of Svensson.
Scientifically proven, commentator's curse does not work on her.
Does not work, no. I mean, we can keep trying. She's 1 point away, but I think we're too late. Let's
Looks like this
see.
might be the
See if
Lakers
she
game.
ices the game. Line drive, the hands of Svensson, kept up, well received. Just barely over the net by Miller. DeMerchant punching that one down. Doucette.
Breakers
Unfortunately,
fighting their hardest to survive, but once again the net biggest blocker
the
coming
biggest
in.
blocker, the
Biggest
best
blocker.
Probably has the best blocking stats in all of volleyball. Well, that would conclude the 4th set, 5th set, only to 15 points. So we'll see how it goes.
See if any adaptation comes out from the Breakers to at least pull away with a set. They have yet to win one. They got pretty close on that 4th one.
Yeah, they came pretty close.
Only missing a couple points from their big comeback that they had.
Was a scary comeback for the Lakers, but
You could tell it definitely shook some of the players.
yeah, definitely made them lock in a little bit. I'd say they were a little bit laid back, but they had to lean forward in their chairs and get things done.
Looks like McFadgen might be out of lib. She went and changed her shirt back to a regular Lakers jersey rather than the black one.
Yeah, getting the chance to take some swings and some serves here.
Just for the little short set.
Yeah, set to 15, so. But these sets have been long, it feels like. I mean, Breakers, despite losing, like, they do not give up on the defensive end. They have hustle like no one other.
They're still showing some promise here, and I mean, next year a lot of the Lakers team are gone. They're all.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of them are graduating.
quite a few seniors. I mean,
I think only
Alyssa
three
Snell,
are
Riley DeMerchant.
staying. The rest are graduating.
Yeah, 3 would be.
Holly Henry, Emma McFadgen, and Cadence McMillan.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to carry the torch and really lock in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that is. Next year will be scary, but.
Lakers team is very strong just because of their players being a lot older. They have a lot of experience.
Yeah, I've been playing together for however long. I mean, it's been too long for me.
Since middle school, really.
Yeah, I mean.
Bernard and
DeMerchant
and McFadgen are kind of inseparable a lot of the time.
Yeah, they.
If
they
you find
play just
one,
about
the
every
other.
sport together.
If you see one, I mean the others are pretty close.
The others
close
probably
by.
about a few steps behind or right beside them. Our last set here. Lakers sitting some star players here. DeMerchant and Fraser Cole sitting alongside Holly Henry.
Looks like Emma McFadgen is coming in for
Yeah, I mean,
offside.
big hit by Doucette. Snow keeping that one alive over to McMullen. Doucette once again. Cook having to tip that one up. The ball is still in play, but Cook wasn't expecting it. Coach has got some feedback. I mean, she caught the ball. May have not known. She could have still played it. Miller keeping that one up to Cook. Doucette hitting that one over. McMullen not ready.
Looks like this formation of the Lakers isn't entirely there. McFadgen playing setter, but she's used to lib. And that's a double touch on the Lakers side. Send the ball over the Breakers' direction for some serves.
Yeah, Libby serving. Underhand serve over the hands of McMullen.
For an underhand serve, that was very strong.
Yeah, it was. Normally you get more of an arc, but not with that one. McMullen keeping it up. That looked like it was going out of bounds. Griffin kept it alive. Doucette pushing that one over. Straight down. Received well, just barely over the net.
Good short set and hit by Bernard from Emma.
Breakers with the
McFadgen
lead
to
here, up
Bernard,
by
but-
2. Doucette to the hands of Bernard. Set up for Lily Sweezy. Just over the net.
Lily Sweezy using the net to just like really trip up the Breakers.
Yeah, bounce the ball on top of the net. I mean, there's not much you can do if she does that.
Almost sent it out of bounds with how far that rolled.
Yeah. Georgia Bernard now serving. Sent back over to the Lakers side. Back to the Breakers. Svensson taking a swing. Received by Bernard. McFadgen set that one over to Sweezy.
Bernard's back on the serving.
Yeah.
It's a poor sight to see if you're a Breaker fan.
That one's up by Griffin. Sent over by Cook. McMullen over the hands of McFadgen. Sweezy punching that one over. Kept alive by Doucette. Within play, but Libby can't quite get there fast enough.
Breakers couldn't quite keep the ball up there.
Bernard once again. Line drive.
Looks like she's
Ace
once
for the
again
Lakers.
targeting that back right area.
So fast, Griffin decided to dodge out of the way.
That back area and those Cassidy Griffin and Molly Miller, they're unfortunately in the same spots that they were almost every other time Georgia's been serving.
Yep. Breakers were up by 2 before Georgia stepped behind the line, and now they're down by 3. There's another ace. I think that's the 3rd one in a row.
Griffin showing some promise though, just
Halfway-
diving straight in head first, no fear, trying to save that.
Yeah. And Svensson ducking under that ball. Miller thinking Svensson was going to volley it.
Breakers calling a timeout to hopefully get Georgia off the serving. All they
Yeah.
need is 1 point to get her off, and then it should be a whole lot easier.
You'd think so. Yeah, Lakers now up 8-3. The set once again only goes to 15, so more than halfway through. Still some potential for the Breakers.
See if the Breakers adapt their receiving strategy. They seem to be getting a little confused on who should get it. And there's not a whole lot of time to receive balls or anything like that. To think about, look at each other, make a sound. It's just straight to the floor if you even hesitate for a couple seconds.
Yeah, not a lot of communication. Well, let's see if the timeout worked. Got some words of wisdom to their players. Maybe throw off Georgia Bernard's momentum. You never know. Served over to the hands of Griffin. Set out by Doucette. Cook is going to volley that one over. Nicholson well received over to McFadgen. Low set. Cook set up to Doucette. No blockers, only receivers. Off the net, kept alive. Even
looks
with
like
the fourth hit.
Looks like whatever the Breakers did during that timeout, whatever they discussed worked out. Got that ball up from
Gave them some motivation.
Bernard.
Got Georgia Bernard off that service line. Score 8-4. Big hit received by Bernard. Up by McFadgen.
No call there by the Lakers. A little bit of confusion. Seen that a couple times. Just teams being confused on who should get the third hit.
Almost over the net.
McFadgen's doing good at trying to predict how the ball's going to come off the net, but that is really unpredictable once it hits it. It could bounce straight off or roll out.
That was a close call. I don't know. Well, point went to the Lakers.
It's right on the line by
Lily Sweezy.
Nevaeh Cook's serve there, but it's going to go over to Lakers because it was out.
Challenging call from the referees, but they made it with confidence. Svensson trying to just tip it over the defending blocker, but
wasn't quite there in time.
no, landed on their own side.
Looks like the Breakers are probably a lot happier that Sweezy's now the one serving. Looks like they're having a bit of an easier time than when Bernard was.
That was volleyed over by Doucette. McFadgen sent that one up to Snow. Back corner hit. Sniped out the lapse in defense on the Breakers side. 11-6. Lakers leading by 5. Only 4 points away from the very last set. Sweezy. Just over the net.
Which by this point in the game, I imagine the Breakers are feeling at least a little bit down.
Yeah, probably feeling that boat right home about now.
Yep. Losing all the sets and then playing the fifth one's a bit tough.
Makes a long day as well, but Nicholson putting some power behind that one.
Lakers only need 3 more points to win the set.
Doucette with the short serve. McFadgen back to Snow. McFadgen once again over to the side of Nicholson. Beautiful tip.
See, the Lakers are really just like tapping the ball over, hoping to catch the Breakers lacking, but they've got some fast reactions.
They do. They have a lot of hustle.
They manage to get there and save the ball every time.
Short serve.
Good spot there by Brianna Doucette. Right where none of the Lakers are.
Even shorter serve. Point to the Lakers, 2 points away. Substitution. Maddie Frazier-Cole in for McFadgen. Coach is thinking, let's just get this thing. Oh, wait. Didn't let the lib take a serve. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate for McFadgen. I imagine that Tracy also wants to give some of the hitters some really good sets for these last couple points.
Yeah. And just like that.
Frazier-Cole is their main setter.
Yeah, well
so
set up hit.
She's obviously going to be the best at it.
Obviously.
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 Unless McFadgen's harboring some crazy...
Good patience by Frazier-Cole there. Set up Snow.
Waiting on that ball exactly where it's going to come from. We call it spawn camping.
Oh, fifth set and it's 15. I'm probably going to 25. It's been that fast. I mean, I think they got the gym to probably about 5:15.
They only get kicked out at about 6, so
It's true.
they've got plenty of time to play the full set, I guess.
That one set up by Miller, over by Griffin. Sweezy hitting that one over.
Sweezy trying to hit the rest with that one.
Yeah. Referees trying to dodge out of that one. Serena Bradford.
Bradford, yep. Looks like a big substitution's coming in. Big substitution of all the players that were on the bench.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen this happen. And I don't know.
Looks like
I only
Fraser
see that
Cole's
many-
back on the bench to give McFadden some more
Yeah,
play time.
I only see that many substitutions in basketball. Oh. Almost out of bounds. Sweezy decided to take the chance, but unlucky on that one. Breakers, 5 points rather. My apologies. Behind the Lakers.
Breakers could be set up to win this set at least.
Oh, okay. Gracie taking the dive, but for no reason. Didn't even.
It was
took
outside
dive
the
and then-
antennas, but
Yeah.
it's good spirit. By
Dove and then decided she didn't want to touch the ball, so she just hit the floor for no reason. Oh.
Bit of confusion on whose ball. Which it should be Lakers' ball just because went outside the antennas.
Yeah. What in tarnation is going on?
A little confusion on
Doing the little
the
do-si-do down
rotations.
there. They don't know where they're supposed to be.
Hopefully they're the right spots, or
I mean,
the refs don't know, because it will be a free point.
trick play, confusing the defense. Snow gets an easy ace. I don't know.
That is a good trick play. If you confuse your
Yeah,
own
just
team, the opponents won't know what you're going to
Start
do.
line dancing down there, and maybe you'll get a free point. Well, it's Snow once again in the arms of Doucette. Cook keeping that one alive. Miller bumping it over. Received by Sweezy. McFadden setting up DeMerchant. Back over to the Lakers side. Nicholson. Back to Nicholson. Good hit. Recoiled into the net. Falls on the breaker's end.
Molly Miller trying to save that, but once again, it's just unpredictable where the ball's going to go.
Yeah,
Sometimes it shoots out, sometimes it rolls, sometimes it just hits the floor. It's tough.
Yeah, and it's different every game. You never know how tight they crank it. So the great eyes by the Lakers there, calling that ball out.
20-11 in the Lakers' favor.
Yep.
Only need 5 more points to win this set as well, and then it'll be a clean 5-0 for the Lakers.
Alyssa Snow looking to go home early. 4 points away. Commentator's curse, you could call it, but
Didn't work on Bernard, so I think we're okay.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a myth. Miller taking a step behind the line. Overhand serve.
Good spot there by Miller.
Snow must be tired, ready for bed. This game being right after school, didn't have enough strength or stamina to go for that ball. Miller once again. DeMerchant trying to keep it up.
No one there to get that one. Seems like there's still a bit of confusion on the Lakers side, since there should be someone down by that power roll.
Beautiful serve there, just over the net. Only trailing by 6. DeMerchant received that one back to her on the hitting. Cook set that one up. From McFadden back to DeMerchant. Stayed on the breaker's end. Is out of bounds.
DeMerchant all wanted to touch the net, but really wanted to get the ball. Miller was on a hot streak, but unfortunately it's going to end now. Which the Lakers still need 3 more points, so there is a chance that the Breakers can get back possession of the ball.
Yeah, 3 more points. Breakers, 9 more points. Oh, beautiful line drive from Nicholson.
And they couldn't quite recover that ball.
Bringing the Lakers that much closer.
They still got a couple points that they can...
It's still got some room for error. Can only make one more mistake on the Breakers' end.
And looks like that's their mercy over. They're really got to focus up here now.
They got to lock in now. If there's any time to lock in, that would be it.
Which, serve rolled off the net.
Game.
That's
Clean
always
sweep from the Lakers, 5-0.
That's always a rough one to cop. The serve rolling off the net, ruining its momentum, changing direction. It's hard. You have to be ready to adapt.
And Lakers with the 5-0 sweep, going home victorious.
Before we end stream, we'd like to shout out our minor officials. We got Carly Good, Kayla Harris, and Sarah Dross down by the booth down there, keeping track of points of this game. For refs, we have Serena Bradford down by the booth down there, and Casey DeMerchant up reffing the net.
Yeah, in the
The net
stands.
area. Yep, she's kind of in the stands. That's what I say. It's not. We got the coaches for Graham Manan, Abby Toll, and Sable Benson. And obviously we got Tracy Messer and Tammy DeMerchant on the Lakers side. And finally, we'd like to thank our premium sponsors, Bill Gammon, Briggs and Little, David C.A. Williams Renovations, Dr. Dan Fletcher, Excel Manufacturing, Harvey High Helpers, Harvey Insurance, Hundredfold Acres Puppies, the Little Village Vacation Resort for Dogs, Paul Equipment, your local Devlon and Bobcat heavy equipment dealer, RSEI Consultants Ltd, Scott Pierce at Remax, East Coast Elite Realty, the Station House, and Black's Grocery and Café drop in after the game for some freshly baked breads and sweets. That's going to be it for us up here in Skybox today.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night, and we'll catch you on another stream.